Hi, and welcome to video 2 of Module 4, Child Support, Part 1. My name is Joe Skepis. I'm a Director of Pearson's Family Lawyers. If this is the first YouTube that you've seen, I highly recommend that you visit Module 1. Module 1 contains 2 videos of important action and things you need to do right now before proceeding any further. To do that, go to the Pearson's YouTube channel or visit our webpage and follow the links from there. If you're ready to proceed, let's go. You may remember, way back in the 1970s and 80s, that child support, or child maintenance as it was known in those days, was very minimal if collected at all. Bob Hawke famously made the promise that by 1990, no child would live in poverty. As a result of that, the child support scheme was set up and it began in 1989. The Child Support Agency is set up and is connected to the tax office and also to Centrelink. The way that child support is worked out is that the Child Support Agency has a formula. It's a very complicated formula, but essentially it looks at the income of both parents and also the percentage of nights that the children spend with each parent. As a result of looking at those factors, the Child Support Agency calculates an amount of child support which has to be paid by one parent to the other. The eligible parent, which is a parent that's eligible to collect child support, can apply to what's called opt-in to the scheme. That means that the agency will collect child support on their behalf. Once an assessment happens, there's usually nothing wrong with the amount of child support, but sometimes things go wrong. There are internal mechanisms set up within the agency where either parent can apply to have the agency relook at it by way of an assessment or a review. They're all dealt with internally, the whole system's set up so that lawyers don't get involved. If at the end of the internal review and reassessment process, one party is still aggrieved, they can go to what's known as the Social Security Appeals Tribunal, again without lawyers, to have them investigate and look at the whole situation afresh. The avenues to go to court are extremely limited. They're limited to cases where there's already proceedings on foot, in which case one parent can ask the court to also deal with child support matters. The other one is where there are questions of law, which are extremely rare. Now, at the end of all the child support scheme, the end result is that parents receive a lot more child support than they used to, both by way of the number of parents that are paying and the amount that's being paid, which means that there's a lot less reliance on the public purse and taxpayers to support children. There are 2 other aspects of child maintenance and child support which may not fall within the child support scheme, and that is adult child maintenance and step-parent maintenance. The child support scheme comes to an end when children turn 18 years of age and complete their secondary education. In that case, a parent can apply to the courts and seek that the other parent continue to provide financial support for the adult child, and that's called adult child maintenance. Typically, the court would look at what the needs of the child are, which I call the black hole, and then they'll look at each parent to see what their respective abilities are to contribute towards the financial support of the child and fill the black hole. Typically, the court makes an order for a payment of an amount of money on a weekly or monthly basis until the child completes their first degree. The other situation is where there is a stepchild and a step-parent has maintained, supported and raised that child as if it's their own. In that case, when those parents separate, then the step-parent doesn't see that they've got an obligation to maintain that child. But that's not necessarily the case. The legislation provides that in certain circumstances, a step-parent can be declared to have an ongoing obligation to support the child and to pay maintenance for that child, despite the fact that it's not theirs. That's the end of video 2. If you're ready to proceed, go to video 3, Child Maintenance Part 2.
All our videos in this YouTube series can be found through the Pearson's YouTube channel or by visiting the Pearson's website and following the links. Alternatively, if you know that it's simply time to see a family lawyer, please contact us for a free initial consultation. Please be advised that we must complete a conflict check so that we can only represent one party in a family law matter. So if your partner is watching this same YouTube series and engages our services before you do, we advise that we may not be able to talk to you. Whatever it is that you choose, it's our wish that throughout this YouTube series, you can finally gain a sense of certainty so that you know where you stand.